With Dunkin' Go-Tos, you can get a great deal on two of your favorites, like 2 egg and cheese wraps for $2, 2 bagels with cream cheese spread for $4, and 2 bacon, egg, and cheese croissants for $5. In my opinion, it's a deal that's pretty tough to beat. That's just if you want my go-to cents. If you don't want my go-to cents, it's go too late. Dunkin' Go-Tos, a great deal for $2, $4, or $5. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
WTF What's the Focus podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll even distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
What's the focus? Pop culture, movies, and TV news. What's the focus? What's the focus?
You're awful! The preceding joke was brought to you by Men. We don't know what we did.
Welcome. My name is Ryan Kerrigan, joined as always with Mr. Mike Michio. Hello, Mike.
What's going on, man? What's going on, everyone?
Well, this is WTF. What's the focus? And man, we got some things to focus on for sure.
Bam! Right in the kisser, right out of the gates. Let's just
go.
Let's just go at it because I'm was fucking puzzled earlier today when you told me this, but. This is shocking. I mean, especially after our last podcast.
For all of you who maybe don't know, and I'm hoping you do know, that means you listened to our last podcast, but we made this huge deal about this show that we really thoroughly enjoyed. And I swear I'm cursed because I swear anytime that I really get into a freaking show, it gets axed, man. It gets axed.
I went out on a limb here, and to be honest, I mean, I honestly thought it was a pretty damn good start. So this is just baffling. I mean, when do you ever hear about this? I mean, usually you hear like a couple episodes in, but this is shocking. So let's go ahead and announce it.
Officially, DC Universe as of today has canceled Swamp Thing. Oh,
good God! Are you fucking kidding me? Like. Who's pulling the strings over there?
Somebody who doesn't like us very much. They're like, hey, we just listened to What's the Focus podcast
and WTF, What's the Focus? Yeah,
watch these dickbags get this news and see how they react to it.
Hey, you think it's a good show? You think it's going places, huh? Nope.
Nope. Guess again, fuckers.
Yep.
No, so man. I mean, I was just very, very disappointed to hear that news. I thought it was just a great show, and like I stated in the last podcast, it was not only just fun to see that character finally come to life, but it gave me some frightening scenes in there, which I thoroughly enjoy. And I just thought as a whole, it was just going to do really well for itself. And like we said, be another Doom Patrol or another Titans that's on DC Universe, which both got renewed for a second season. And, I got to say the worst thing about it is from just the standpoint of wanting to still make money from production that you actually put in. I think it was a horrible, horrible timing to release this news after just the first episode.
Yeah, I really feel like there's some sabotage here at play because... Yeah, I mean, at this point, one episode in, what are you exactly conveying to viewers at this point? I mean, at this point, I'm just like, I kind of want to see the next couple episodes, but I just don't have any faith at this point of how it's going to end. I mean, there's conflicting reports as to what exactly is going on, but I mean, you were telling me earlier that this was originally planned for a 13 episode run, and
Correct.
Now it's going to get cut to 10. And what does that even mean in terms of a production cycle of what are they going to have to do? Are they going to axe footage that they either filmed or haven't filmed, or like where the hell are they even at with this?
And I'm waiting to hear that news, but I don't have a lot of confidence in a series that does that regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Just because, then you know you're gonna get that kind of sloppy finish, in my opinion, right? It's not gonna be what everybody wants as a fan pleaser ending. It's gonna be feeling, again, maybe a little rushed and just, I don't know, shortchanged, I think is a better word.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, has Doom Patrol and Titans, have they already been renewed for second seasons?
Yep, both of them.
Okay, all right. So this has nothing to do with potentially the performance of the DC Universe subscription model. Like, it sounds like, at first I'm thinking, oh man, maybe they're not marketing the service very well, and maybe they're just having a user acquisition issue. And from this is just crazy. This just sounds like an indifference of, different levels of leadership or creative control, and just kind of disheartening, because it feels like they had a good foundation and kind of set for it. So yeah, this is a huge bummer.
Yeah, well, like you said, I'm still gonna watch them. I think at least we're gonna get a lot of good things going into at least the first 5 episodes, or even more. Because I think those were filmed and recorded already. So, I mean, whatever the storyline's going to go, it's not going to probably hit ahead like at the end, until the very, very end, where we're going to go either, okay, that wasn't as bad, or God, that was just horrible.
No, totally. And you know what? I mean, maybe there's a positive out of this too. I mean, maybe this is a good proof of concept, season that can actually, push the character Swamp Thing maybe forward into, the silver screen adaptation at some point. Because that first episode, I was definitely intrigued to see. Like, I definitely like the horror aspect of where they're going with the character. So I'm just trying to, see if the glass is half full type of scenario. But
that's all we can do. Yeah, I feel like
that's all I guess we can do now. Yeah, it's just a bummer, man. I mean, we're just 2 days off of being high off of this, and just get bitch slapped in the face like a
real hard baby powder, just right in the hand, slapped across the face.
That's what we get for being optimistic, I guess.
This is what we get for caring, Mike. This is why we just need to stop caring about stuff. Oh, no. But anyway, we won't drag too much onto that. But that was pretty big news that just came up today. So we definitely wanted to update people, just because we did just make kind of a big deal about it just in the last episode. So now everybody knows. So everybody's caught up. So there's a couple other little things that we wanted to talk about. Real quick, Mike, if you don't mind, I kind of just wanted to bring up the new trailer for Jessica Jones that just dropped today also.
Nice. I haven't had a chance to actually check it out yet, but I'm honestly, like, out of the whole Netflix, Marvel, all the series, I felt like Jessica Jones was probably the strongest. So I'm glad to see that they're finishing what they kind of sought out for.
Sure. I thought personally Daredevil was probably the strongest, but I will say that Jessica Jones, within the first season, having Kilgrave as the actual antagonist and bad guy in that, I was just floored by his performance.
Honestly, I just forgot about Daredevil. You're absolutely right. I stand corrected. Daredevil was my fucking favorite. Jessica Jones is my second. Luke Cage and Iron Fist, just kind of drifted off a little too much for me.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
For sure.
And I don't mean to get too much into Daredevil, but because I have a problem, and once you brought it up, everything kind of swam into my brain. But Daredevil, for me, had some of the best fight sequences out of any comic book movie I just have ever seen in general. Yeah. It showed
great fight choreography. Absolutely great.
You actually saw Matt Murdock like fighting and getting tired and having to use like things around him to like push off the wall because he's tired and he needs the momentum to like swing into like another guy. You know what I mean? It was just
parkour.
It was parkour, man. It was parkour. But Jessica Jones was a close second for me. Like you said, it was definitely my number 2. I really enjoy the story. One thing that I know that bugs Matt when he watches movies like this or shows like this is taking a character like Rogue when we did our X-Men podcast. And we don't see her to her full potential. And she's definitely one of those characters. I mean, you can look up Jessica Jones within the comic books, and she is very, very powerful. Within the Netflix series, we see a lot of a healthy mixture between investigation and her being a superhero. which
Yeah.
she denies every time, right? She doesn't want to be that superhero, but that's not her person.
Yeah,
But
I almost feel like they hold back because it feels like they're just she's kind of, they play it like she's more reserved or playing things close to the chest.
fuck, I don't want reserved.
Yeah, I know, because she's supposed to be like just a brute, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I can see what you mean. They're kind of giving her a little bit of that rogue treatment, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? I understand making somebody again too powerful, and sometimes that's not great either. Captain Marvel, for instance.
I mean, it's sexy as hell. That's what it is. I mean, they need to just keep going off and explore
That's
that. Who
not what
just
the
doesn't?
podcast is about. We all know it's sexy, Mike. Okay, we all know where this is.
I mean,
it's very.
I'm
sexy.
still in love with Jane from Breaking Bad. So yeah, I mean that's how I've always seen her.
Oh, man, you're having some real separation issues. Is
Yeah.
what it's sounding like.
I just
Still a
can't.
chance, Mike.
I still a chance. I mean, Walter White just let her choke on her own vomit, and that was it. That was
that was a brutal scene, man.
Yeah, talk about a huge character moment there for Walter White. I mean, at that point, you're actually wondering, man, he's at what lengths is he willing to go to? But I digress. Yeah.
So obviously,
great show.
Jessica Jones, pretty pumped. Still starring same actress, Kristen Ritter. Like you just stated, she was in Breaking Bad for a good while as kind of the druggy girlfriend.
Yeah, I feel like that was her breakout, right?
And then she did a couple little comedies on TV. She did the Bee in Apartment 23.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
she did a couple.
the bitch. Whatever.
Look at me. I'm all being filtered, and you're just putting it all
man,
out.
I'm in that show, The Bitch from Apartment 23, and I kind of sound like a man.
I'm a man now. Drink whiskey and smoke cigars.
Yeah, let's do
You
it.
do it better than me. I'm not going to do it anymore. This sucks.
That's
I like
gross.
to do it. I like to do voices with much less talented people, so I feel better about myself.
Oh, stop. I'm going to shrivel up. I feel so incompetent.
It's like what Rodney Dangerfield said about wanting to feel thin. He goes, you just want to feel thin, you just hang out with fat people. You know what I mean? You want to be funny, hang around less funny people.
There you go.
Same thing. So, again, Jessica Jones trailer dropped today. It's going to have a brand new, really kind of theme to it, I guess, a little bit. Everybody knows who she is in this one. There's no secret to her identity, which is always very, very interesting and always puts people who, she cares about or knows, and usually in pretty severe danger, right? They use that kind of that card against the hero. And that's why a lot of those heroes / vigilantes always wear a mask and try to hide their identity to protect the people that they do care about. So she does not do that because she just doesn't give a flying fuck. But that's her character. And, I'm just excited to see this one come out. I believe it's coming out on the 14th.
Cool.
Of this month. So we are in for it. It's just here in another week and a half, which is just crazy.
So did the trailer go into any detail as far as setup for season 3, or is it more just like a quick sneak peek?
It's a full 2-minute 30-second trailer.
Okay.
So you definitely see the new bad guy. I personally have not dove fully into this trailer, but you definitely see the new bad guy that's going against her. He's pretty much narrating the entire trailer. And you just see him having just this deep, deep-rooted hatred for Jessica Jones. And we don't know why, but he is outwardly after her. He's not afraid of her. He's just, from my knowledge, he's not a super by any means. So he's just a normal guy who wants to take her out for whatever reason, which, again, come 14th, we will know. But
interesting.
It definitely looks creepy. You see the same characters that have been in there, though, since season 1, with her best friend and her neighbor, who she's also friends with, and then the big time attorney gal that was in there. I mean, they're all the same big side characters are still very much there, and they play a pivotal role in this season 3 as well. So hopefully they finish it out. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, and this is old news now, but this is it. I mean, Jessica Jones is now the last show that Marvel is going to have on Netflix. So obviously Daredevil, which was my number 1 and a lot of people's, that got canceled. That's done. Iron Fist is done.
Luke Cage was canceled. Yeah.
Luke Cage is. I mean, so this is it. So for me, I'm hoping it goes out on somewhat of a high note. And they have the ability to do so. I mean, they have a lot of talent, and the writing's been great. Like I said, they want to really finish it up with me. Just give me a little more action,
Yeah.
Give me a little more Daredevil. You know what I'm saying?
This one is interesting as opposed to, Swamp Thing, is that, here's a show that knew all its other, crossover shows were going to be canceled, yet they still went through with the production for this season, and now we're actually going to get the final product. I'm
Mike,
actually,
if you want, you can pull that up right now, and we can watch the trailer if you'd like.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody doesn't mind just holding tight while we pick up this little trailer, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're going to hear it too, so they might as well enjoy Mike Michio's reactions, because that's all I care about. All right. You let me know when you're ready to press play, my friend.
Alrighty, let's see.
By the way,
DC
Universe is just about to put on Zack Snyder's rendition of The Watchmen on that actual service as well. So that's going to be a copy of that. If people were ever interested in seeing that version of The Watchmen, that's going to be on there, which is going to be good timing for people to start watching that and have kind of a refresher before the HBO series.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I believe it just recently got a release too on 4K Blu-ray, which I honestly might think about picking it up.
I'm definitely going to go pick that up. That's what, again, that movie for me, they did such a good job. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hit it.
You are a cheater. You were given every advantage.
What? White shirt.
Allowed to make mistake.
Classic.
Mistake.
Classic.
You're a cheater.
You can't control
Call me a cheater.
yourself.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You have no discipline. Just
Hero?
brute force.
Question mark. Whiskey? Question mark.
Hey, touche.
Oh.
I'm drinking some rum right now.
I got the JMO. Ooh, punch the ground. I've done that
Yeah.
before.
Hulk smash.
Smarter than both of us
Yeah,
combined.
see?
I don't know,
I want
stab.
Hulk strength. Look at this guy, dude. He's just after her.
Not exactly.
This guy just looks like a giant penis. Who is he?
He is a giant penis.
Who is this guy?
Salinger did this. Let's go get him. I don't need your help.
That guy looks just like a young Nathan Fillion.
He was unjustly arrested.
Good old young Castle.
To maniacs, people around you.
Just writing stories and solving crimes.
Yeah. Hey, there's Trinity. She's back.
Yeah, Trinity's in there.
Everybody's got a story, a beginning,
So look at this guy,
a
just
middle.
total
and
psychopath.
I'm
All right, all right. I definitely like this villain.
You know what,
This
Jess?
villain,
You do it your way.
this setup more
I'm
than
gonna do it
season
my way.
2's her mother.
There's still a way
Yeah.
this ends with me respecting you. It's not my highest priority right now.
Ooh, I like this Super Cat burger.
Jessica Jones. You believe that you
Ooh.
could save the world.
How Catwoman of you.
Terrified. You've already failed them. And you have. Because you
I'd
are
still use that
and
money,
you
though.
never
I would
will be
totally use that
a
money.
hero.
I'd be like, is this okay?
There's nothing around a bleach won't kill.
Dude, nobody at 7-Eleven would be like,
Yeah.
this has blood on it. I can't
Yeah.
accept this.
The final season.
Yeah, there it is, man.
14th.
You're still a hero if nobody thinks you are? Like, I give a shit what other people think.
It's a deep question. Yeah, I mean, it finishes it off saying, I don't give
Like-
a shit.
Like
about
she's
that.
ever given a shit. I mean, come on.
But that's her character, right?
That's
what
totally her
I'm saying.
character.
Yeah, no, it looks good, man. Like I said, it's different that they're giving you so much of the bad guy, right? I mean, you really do get a lot there. I mean, you definitely see that they're throwing him into a situation where he's just outwardly going after her and using the law to his benefit, whether it's getting the right attorney or whatever he's doing. But you could see that he's, badly bruised outside of the courthouse and beat up while they're doing a press conference. So he's obviously able to finagle some way of getting out of that situation, but he's also not hiding from it. He's letting them know that I'm after you, Jessica Jones. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's so different and exciting to me that I got to say, I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, that tagline itself on that poster, your powers can't save you. That's getting pretty deep, I think.
Yeah, that's strong verbiage right there, man. Especially when that's what she relies on, right? I mean, I think what they try to do in this show also is show how much more she is, even without powers, right? She's still a world-class detective. I mean, she could still solve crimes to help get to where she needs to go. But hey, super strength and everything else doesn't hurt either. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't hurt at all. They ever go? I mean, they did explore her origin early on, right? Like What was her initial origin?
Oh man, so very little. When they picked it up in the Netflix series, you saw Kilgrave take her over because he knew what she was capable of. So then she got used as his little puppet. But I guess before then, they made little funny comments about like her wearing like a purple outfit, and she's like, I don't wear purple anymore, or something like that, because that's what her outfit was in the comic book.
Yes. She had like purple hair at some point, right?
Yeah, so something with that. And Trinity is the one who's like mentioned, oh, are you gonna put back on your whatever outfit? And she's like, no, so they kind of go into that, and then they go into when she was a child and that kind of stuff, and her upbringing and living with Trinity and her mother and all that kind of stuff. But we didn't get much of like the character building when she like figured out her powers to like the fullest.
Gotcha.
I think there was a couple maybe little snippet scenes where she all of a sudden found out she was super strong, but again, nothing to give like a full on like Superman story, him growing up at the farm and seeing all of his powers at different times come into place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, just because I'm Googling it, it just sounds like her generic origin was that her superpowers came from when she was in a tragic car accident with her and her family, and then they were in a military vehicle at that time, and it was carrying some radioactive chemicals, and she was the only survivor. So, yeah, I guess that's her origin from the comic, but I feel like that's never really explained in the show. But I'm actually trying to wonder in season 2 with her mother, because that season kind of drifted off for me a little bit, but
it did for me as well.
Yeah, it wasn't as strong. I really enjoyed Kilgrave.
So what I'm getting from this whole conversation is me and you, we take a ride in a government vehicle with some government grade chemicals that we have no idea what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then we quote unquote accidentally get into a car crash.
Yep, and this will officially be our last podcast, just for everyone listening.
you heard it here first, folks.
In case you don't hear from us in a week, that's exactly what we went out to go do.
Please do not try this at home. That would be the label, and here we are already me planning it. God, all right. Well, God, man, I just want superpowers. Is it too much to ask? I don't think it is.
Yeah, hey, man.
All right,
maybe it is. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll get off of that. But again, these are just a couple things that just popped up, so I wanted to make sure that we got to at least talk about them a little bit, because that was definitely my focus of the day. So I wanted to make sure it got out there. But now, Mike, I would love for you to kind of touch base on what we were discussing a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
we're going to see coming up here with some new tech.
Yeah, dude, like we're entering almost like a new gaming frontier. Game streaming. Start thinking of it as a subscription service model where, you're subscribed to a streaming service that provides you instant games. Google actually back, I believe in March, at first announced, or maybe, it was back in March at the GDC conference, announced their cloud streaming platform, the Google Stadia, which, is obviously the first announced cloud streaming program for games. And today they went into more detail as far as when it's going to be available and price plans and some of the launch games that we will actually have. And for those listening, it will be launching in November, which is actually pretty soon, and probably a good time to just kind of jump into the market, since everyone is definitely keen with their eyes set on the holiday season and what to get for gifts and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Google's put together some interesting little packages for those that that are looking to get into the platform.
November is so close, dude. November is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, when you think about in 6 months, this year is over, and we're going to be going into 2020 just in 6 months. So November, when you really think about it, it's going to be here before we know it.
Time's flying by. My kid's going to be here before I know it.
Yeah, Mike Mitchell's going to be a daddy.
Yep. I'm joining the club. Oh, boy.
Big congratulations, man. That's so
thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, we're super psyched. But, back to...
Just so everybody knows, I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot more from him as soon as this baby is born.
Yeah, or a lot less, if you know what I'm saying. No, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
no matter what, it's going to work out.
The benefits of alcohol. We'll see if we get from there.
The benefit of alcohol and coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Late hours, sipping on a little Irish coffee.
Yeah, I'm right now I'm not really actually on any caffeine of any sort. So I just drink decaf, and I don't know how I'm doing it, but it seems to be working pretty well.
Good for you.
But that might change soon.
You let me know how that goes in another 3 months.
Exactly. When I'm getting 1 to 2 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night, maybe if I'm lucky. Maybe
it depends how you and your lady break it up. We did. You know what? For me and Nicole, what we did is we split up the night. So I had I'm naturally a late bird. I like to stay up. So he would go down at like 9 o'clock, and whatever happened from 9 to 3, he was mine. And then she would come down at like 3:30, and I would sleep until 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. On weekends it would be later, and then obviously other ones I would go to bed and still get up pretty early for work. But
that's important, man. I mean, I feel like that's what we're trying to focus on too, is like establishing that schedule.
Okay, but let me tell you this from now, a veteran, and by a veteran I mean having a 1-year-old, which it's just a huge.
I have,
by the way,
years of experience in 1 year.
I have a year of experience here, Mike.
I better update that resume. I am a 1-year-old father.
No, what I was going to say, though, is you will be surprised. You will have a little bit of sleep deprivation, but you will be able to function fully sleep deprived. It is amazing.
Yeah,
like
the human body is incredible.
So your body literally adapts. Like in the very beginning, it was miserable. But as time went on, it was so consistent. Man, it's incredible. You really do get used to it, and then it just becomes habit, and then it's nothing different. You'll be good. You're going to be a great dad. All right. We can
be fine. I'm totally fucked. But yeah, anywho, Google. I'm excited for this. This is going to be interesting because we're going to have to see how the streaming market's going to unfold. And I feel like Google's not going to be the only ones dipping their toes in this. There's definitely the likes of Apple and Amazon as well trying to get something going. So
sure.
But this is they're going to be the first, and if they pull it off, I mean, from what they're promising, you're going to be getting, 4K HDR streaming, which is obviously what you get already with, your streaming packages with Netflix and Amazon Video. Mm-hmm. So pretty high promise, and this is games, which is much more higher fidelity. So.
Big time. There's going to be a lot of skeptical people going into this, for many reasons. I mean, just me personally, if I'm just thinking about streaming an entire game, I'm just going to think of like connectivity problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like how fast my actual connection speed is, not just the picture quality coming in. I mean, just everything that goes along with just trusting something over like a wireless service. There's going to be a lot of people who are just a little skeptical, but there's also going to be people like us that are just down to see kind of that next step into, the direction we're heading as a society, going towards more that future of video games, really.
Yeah. And for what they're quoting too, I mean, it sounds like, if you have a 10 megabit per second connection, which, I would like to say, a good majority of the population probably does at this point, you're going to be getting like a full 1080p, 30 frames per second experience. But, they definitely, request that it's more preferable to have, something over 25 megabits per second if you want to actually get that 4K HDR experience. So, going over what they actually announced today, I would just like to go into a little detail as far as like the different editions.
Please.
So, I mean, overall, this is going to be a stream service where, if for barrier to entry here is going to be at minimum $10 per month, which I think is a great value just for the service itself. And what that service actually provides, the $10 a month version versus the base version, is that the base version is actually what seems to be possibly free if you already have a Chrome browser or Chromebook or a Pixel phone device, but you will only be able to stream at 1080p 60 frames per second with stereo sound. That is known as the Stadia base package. If you want to, basically upgrade to what, obviously how Netflix does with their 4K streaming, that would be the Stadia Pro package, which is actually the $10 a month package. And with that, you would get the 4K 60 frames per second HDR and 5.1 surround sound. And you will also, in the likes of what is also similar to Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, you will also be getting what I believe what they are quoting on saying is that, you might be getting 1 to 2 free games a month with the subscription. So, you're not just getting access to a service, you are also getting some free games to play, which, is a great value. And from what it sounds like, for a limited time, whether you pre-order either the Pro edition and the one we're about to go into, the Founders edition, you will be getting full, complete access to the entire Destiny 2 experience, including all the expansions from the past 2 years, which is pretty cool. And if anyone who doesn't know, Activision just announced that Destiny 2, or actually Bungie announced that Destiny 2 will actually now be supporting in the not too distant future cross-save support, which users that wanted to bring their saves from either Xbox to PC or PC to Xbox will be able to do that. I do believe that PS4 will be included in that. It just seems like as of yesterday, Sony kind of kind of gave the approval for that. So that will probably be in the works too, but I don't know if that's going to be available on launch. But I know myself as a Destiny 2 player, I had a lot of fun on the PS4, and once it came out on PC, I definitely wanted to try it on PC because obviously this is a first-person shooter, and I definitely wanted to try it. I definitely felt discouraged by that because I didn't want to start the game over. So this is a pretty cool. This is a pretty cool thing to bring your Guardian and cross-platform with it, which is pretty badass.
Yeah, I've been waiting for something like that for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising it's taken this long, but I guess this is a good sell too for anyone that wants to get into Destiny or wants to get back into Destiny. But I think it's a good way to start the platform itself as far as what Google has going forward, with it. And with that, the Founders Edition, which is the head honcho here, this is going to be the $130 package, which, this is for someone that obviously doesn't have any type of streaming device, whether it be through the Chrome browser or any Chromecast device. So what you'll get with this package is a Chromecast Ultra streaming device, a 3-month subscription to the Stadia Pro service, first dibs apparently on your Stadia gamer tag ID, and then what's really, really neat here is that this is something you don't really get with the other, game service packages, is that you'll get a 3-month buddy pass to Stadia Pro for a friend. So you guys can buddy up and try out the service together and play together online.
What a smart promotional plug that is, man.
Yeah, it really is. That's
just a great idea.
Yeah, way to promote the the platform to the other players.
And it will be used. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and last but not least, what comes in this Founders Edition is the actual what is for this the limited edition controller that is made by Google for the Stadia platform. And that, the big thing here is that this is for someone that doesn't have any game controller to play with, because the biggest draw I feel is that the barrier to entry here is so low, which is $10 per month. That what's so cool is that you can actually use any of your Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or possibly even Nintendo Pro controllers with this platform.
That's awesome.
This is some exciting tech that's going to be kind of be at our disposal for our own convenience, but this is going to be pretty interesting to see where this how this goes and how this market kind of develops. So I'm super stoked for it. I've always wanted to play games, whether it be like the AAA experience coming to and going from work, or whether it be on the bus or on my phone or traveling. This is a pretty neat experience to be able to tether your experience to all these different devices.
Really cutting the cord, man, for sure.
Yeah, really. It really is.
Yeah, we're definitely getting to that point in time now, which is just wild to see. And so if you don't get any of the actual the Stadia Founders Edition and you don't have a remote, you can just buy a remote yourself, right? You can still go and get a Stadia Google remote.
It would be probably a Chromecast device, or it would be a Chromebook. What I believe this is going to be is that this is going to be an application that you install to either your Chrome, your Chromecast device, wherever you're beaming from, like whether it be a tablet, Android tablet, or an Android phone. There might also be an iOS app for it itself. So I don't know if they've gone into detail with that. I think they might just be rolling out with the Pixel devices at first. But I mean, if you have a Chrome browser, you're pretty much set up for any platform you are on for PC. So
that's great, man.
Yeah, pretty cool. So pretty awesome. So I want to go over some of the launch titles. Like they're gonna have a lot of Bethesda titles, like anywhere from Doom and Rage. I believe. Wait, do they have Rage 2? Yeah, they do have Rage 2. And obviously, we went over Destiny 2, the Wolfenstein series. My personal favorite, Mortal Kombat 11, is on here, so I will definitely be playing that, and probably playing that at work on my lunch breaks.
Don't admit that.
So yeah, right.
Oh well, you said lunch break, so you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not like I'll just be playing at work.
Very strategic phrasing.
Very good, Mike. This isn't your first rodeo. I can tell. No, look at you got all the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I mean, they got some really big namers on here, man.
Yeah, and unannounced games here from Capcom, EA, Rockstar. So,
Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Yeah, this is I actually already have this game. This is on.
Fuck yeah! You maybe think I'm sounding facetious, by the way. I'm not.
Go Power Rangers. Yeah.
Hey man, I was a huge Power Ranger fan, and I thought Kim back in the day, the Pink Ranger, was smoking hot. So
that's right, Kimberly. Oof.
Yeah. Oof. That's why me and the White Ranger had a little problem, a little jealousy action as a young man.
Yep.
But that's all right. That's all right. No, these are good games, man. I'm very impressed with what they're doing. It's very ambitious. So I really hope it works out, and then we're getting everything that they're saying. I actually don't mind that it's taken as long as we said. It's kind of technology maybe that we thought in some aspects, maybe not this, but in some regards should be maybe seen it already. But I'm glad that they take their time with all this kind of things, even with the shared gaming and all that stuff, to make sure that whatever we are going to get with the final project that they bring out, that it's perfect.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, from what it sounds like, I mean, they're going to be offering, great discount packages too, as far as if you have the pro membership. You'll be getting exclusive discounts on, actual games as well. So, in lieu of also getting free games, that's a fantastic deal. They are also going to have, which is really, really cool. I can't think on the top of my head, but they did announce some exclusive Stadia games today, and those look pretty cool. Like I believe one that they showed was called Get Packed, and it's like a 4-player couch co-op game where you are literally in a scenario where, like, let's just say 4 players are in a top-down view trying to run into a house and loot all these items from someone's house. Like you're just playing, burglars or whatnot, and you just, just looting a house and loading up a semi-truck, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of cool little games that are going to be coming out that will be exclusive to the platform. So I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah. Anything else with that topic?
That's pretty much it. Dude, what else have been focusing on this week? We just finished the series Chernobyl on HBO. And I know how we began the show with the downer, and then we went up a little bit with Jessica Jones, and then great with Stadia. But now I want to go back to like being a little bit of a downer, because Chernobyl, that series, was so fucking good, but so depressing on so many levels. It's very rough. But just unbelievable. Like, you can't ignore the suffering that went on, and how people just, how the Soviet Union just at that time, because it still hadn't disbanded, so you still had the USSR, how it was such a cover up, and how they kept the truth from everyone. And I definitely recommend checking out that series. It was very eye opening. I think it's important because I think a lot of people don't even understand or even care to realize what goes on and how a nuclear reactor works and how important they are to powering our cities. How this mistake, back in, was not even 30 something years ago.
1986, man.
1986, yeah. Crazy. I mean, how what will eventually go in the series is that they'll actually will explain what exactly happened, because the public, as far as the public's perception of what happened, It's you kind of think about big things that have happened in history. What happened during 9/11. What was the root cause, or what how did the Titanic sink and stuff like that. You have answers, right? But for the longest time, no one really understood what the hell happened at Chernobyl. So
no, and even the people, from what I understand from people who have seen the show, I mean, the people are so unaware of what's like falling on them when it's like ash and all these things that are, holding so much radiation, which is, essentially just killing these people. I mean, it's just so sad. I have not started this series, but I am very, very excited to get into it. It's just I have a lot on my virtual plate right now, so it's definitely on my list. Yeah,
definitely check it out.
It's definitely going to be happening.
And even more, there's even a HBO exclusive Chernobyl podcast, which I just got done listening to, and it kind of goes episode to episode. Fantastic, because there's a lot of stuff that the creator will go over, the director of the show, that he'll go over. That there's some stuff that they had to exclude from the show because they didn't want to get to the point where it was just being too horrific, to the point where it was almost being too crude, and almost like a horror aspect of like, oh, let's just try to get more and more chills and thrills. This is some real dark material that we're dealing with. So yeah, I mean, I guess the whole overall motto of the show is what is the cost of lies? And with every lie there's a debt to be paid, and that's kind of the theme of that show. And they do a really great job as far as showing some of the the unknown heroes that came out of that that time in history. So definitely recommend checking that out. It's had my focus for the past 6 weeks. Great stuff, and honestly, it was what was getting me through the horrible debacle of Game of Thrones, just falling on its face, was watching that show. So HBO still has many reasons to keep that membership.
Don't be just canceling your guys' memberships. Just there's still a lot of good material and a lot more to come too. So that's awesome, Mike. Thank you for that. I definitely am going to get into that sooner than later. Last thing for me, dude, and maybe you can even touch on it because this is EA. We're about to see the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order a video game to come out, which I am very, very excited about also. We're 2 days out, I think, right? 2 days?
Yeah, I think 9:30 a.m. PDT, so Pacific time. EA Play is going to, basically EA's E3 show, so to speak. We'll kick off, and I think they're gonna. That's their first part of their keynote is going over Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which seems to be a first-person game where you're a Force user that is kind of has to hide in the shadows in between what happens in what's canon in the films between episodes 3 and 4. So right after Order 66 is initiated by Emperor Palpatine. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, this is going to be a story about, some of the surviving Jedi and them hiding in the shadows. And yeah, I really hope you can go both ways in this game, that you can explore the, obviously the dark side as much as the light. It feels like it's going to go that way. So I'm super, super psyched to see what's at play here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got to say too, at least from the previews of the game, they always do such an amazing job actually digitally putting these characters together, pulling real actors, right? Yeah. And the guy who's actually the Force sensitive guy, his name is I know his name's Cameron. I think like Monaghan or something like that. Regardless,
yep. I think we're close.
He was in the show Gotham, and he played the Joker, and man, he's a great actor. I would say he portrayed him for what the show was pretty damn well. He got onto Gotham from the show Shameless with William H.
Shameless. That's right. Yeah,
that's right.
William H. Macy. So he's great in that show too.
Yeah, and fellow redhead, so I gotta support him when I can.
Shout out!
Shout out to all my gingers out there.
It's the only reason why you brought up this game. It has nothing to do with Star Wars. Just so everyone's listening.
It's called the Long Con, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, dude. It's called
call me out for all my sneaky.
It's called the Ginger Order. That's what it's called.
I wish it was called the Ginger Order.
My ginger-like powers.
Hey. We produce more vitamin D than the average person.
Did you guys burn in the sun more frequently or something? What is the stereotypes with this? I don't know.
I don't know. I've heard so many. It's been hurtful. and unnecessary for so long.
It's so unnecessary.
South Park owes me a huge apology.
Yeah, it does. Fuck you, Trey
right.
Parker and Matt Stone. Just kidding. You guys are awesome.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, man, that really does it for me. I know this was kind of an impromptu podcast, but when these things dropped, I just felt like we had to get on here and just let people know about them.
Yeah, and I feel like we're gonna do this, more often. Is just start talking about shit that's unfolding throughout the week. So it's kind of fun to just hop on and just do a quick take.
Yeah, we're here for the people to keep them updated. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not everything, but it's just a few interesting bullets that people just may not have known about. So, we're always happy to do it.
Swamp Thing. Why? Why? God, why?
Dude, I am actually actually upset about this. I mean, I
don't get it.
I didn't think I would be. I've only seen the first freaking episode, and I'm treating it like an end game. Like, oh my god, it's the last time I'm going to see these characters.
Yep.
But it was just such a great opener for me. I don't want to get into it more. I'm just gonna start getting mopey.
Yep.
Yeah, regardless.
Prepare to be disappointed, but hey, enjoy it while it lasts. Because probably the first 6 episodes are probably pretty good. We'll see, then really start to judge where it goes.
Watch, we're gonna keep drinking whiskey. And we're just gonna get really deep. And we're gonna be like, make this a good life lesson for yourself. This one's about disappointment, folks.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna go back to Injustice 2 and play as Swamp Thing because he's fucking awesome in that game.
Safe choice. Yeah. No. Yep. That's a fun game. Yeah, and like we always finish up our podcast, we do have a Twitter page at twitter.com at What's the Focus. Feel free to leave us a comment. We always like to hear from you guys. Also, feel free to leave us a comment or a review on via iTunes podcasts. And then we also have an email. So I know, Mike, you have mentioned in the past that possibly doing a grab bag situation with the people that write in. If you want to just kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Feel free to email us if you have any questions. We can go ahead and cover them on, obviously on our next or upcoming podcasts. We just want to have more community engagement. It's fun. It's fun to hear from you guys. We're just we're starting this out, and we just want to get our feet wet, and we're just putting ourselves out there and trying to engage with people that share the same interests as us, that like talking passionately about all the topics that we like to go over. Fun nerding out with us. Please reach out.
Absolutely. And if somebody wants to get on here and they feel like there's some kind of expert or just very knowledgeable person about a topic that we might find equally as interesting, shoot us an email. And if you want to get on a podcast with 2 to 3 perverted men, then feel free to
we are really good looking, like ridiculously good looking, just so you know. So maybe that's a little.
Hey, everybody, come see how good I look. Yeah. That's what we're yelling to each other.
Don't let the voices fool you.
Yeah, the breaks get really weird.
I haven't worn any pants throughout this whole podcast.
And nor do you need to. This is all about comfort, my friend. All about comfort.
It sure is.
All right.
Free balling.
Yeah, free balling. Oh, my God. Tom Petty at the levees. Yep. All right.
Yep.
So now it's gotten weird, so I think we're just going to say goodbye to these people. We appreciate you guys listening to us. Thank you for following us, and we will always have more to come week to week. So thanks for listening. And
be safe, be kind to each other.
Yeah, have a good one. Talk to you guys later, guys.
Thanks all.
With Dunkin' Go-Tos, you can get a great deal on 2 of your favorites, like 2 egg and cheese wraps for $2, 2 bagels with cream cheese spread for $4, and 2 bacon, egg, and cheese croissants for $5. In my opinion, it's a deal that's pretty tough to beat. That's just if you want my go-to cents. If you don't want my go-to cents, it's go too late. Dunkin' Go-Tos, a great deal for $2, $4, or $5. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
This is a message from the Emergency Stuffed Crust Warning System.
Cheese!
Little Caesar's Extra Most Bestest Pizza now has 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust for just $9. I repeat, it has 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Cheese!
That concludes the message from the Emergency Stuffed Crust Warning System. Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pepperoni Stuffed Crust Pizza for $9. Top 4 national pizza chains. Extra Most Bestest Pizza versus large round 1-topping pepperoni pizza. Everyday standard menu prices. 3 feet of cheese before cooking. At participating locations plus tax.
Pizza.